Hey folks, real quick before we get started, I want to encourage you to go over to EddiePepitone.com and check out all of his live tour dates. Plus, look at the links at the bottom of this show. Wherever you're listening, check them out. We got links to our Patreon so you can get exclusive stand-up from Eddie Pepitone himself. You get this podcast the day it comes out, full video. And then if you go over to YouTube, you can see every podcast we put out, 104 episodes. That's 104 today, all on YouTube. Plus, we put out clips and all that good stuff. Now, let's get into the show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, murder of geese, murder of ravens, welcome to Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside. We are seeing dogs around, we got birds and trees and grass and bees, and here he is, the man with the hat, the man with the glasses. He's got an Apple Watch. It's Eddie Pepitone.
Hey everybody, I think you can hear that helicopter, or as they say in LA, the police helicopters are called ghetto birds. They keep people in line who don't have very much money. And they keep me in line. I use the police helicopters as a life coach. Thank you, fellas. They keep me eating properly, and they make me do my exercise. Welcome to Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside. And how are you, Kev?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm out here in the park. We're soaking up the sun before this long, rainy week coming up.
Yeah.
And it's great to be with you, hanging out. Meeting friends. We're meeting new people out here.
Well, let's tell the folks what just happened. I have an audition for a Netflix show called That 90s Show. And Kevin was here, so I figured let's tape it outside. We wouldn't have to go in my apartment. And it just didn't work out. And after a really, I was in the middle of a really good take, and a guy walked by and yelled at me, going, "Are you taping a podcast?" And I said, "God damn it," I kind of flipped out on him, and this guy could have kicked my ass. Anybody could kick my ass, by the way. I may talk tough, but I don't like to fight. Anyway, I went after the guy. I said, "What the fuck, man? I'm in the middle of an audition."
Well, you were, the level of performance on that audition, I was transported. And so when I heard an outside voice, I get it. I got discombobulated myself.
Yeah, let me talk to the kids out there for a second. If you're going to become an actor, you have to have the commitment that you see from me every week on this podcast. Whether I feel like it or not, I come out here into the elements. We have a storm system moving in. Mm-hmm. We're surrounded by crows, people walking their dogs, people who yell things, yet I come out here. So please, folks, if you're going to get into the acting business, don't be another hack. There's so many people who really don't know how to act or how to be a comedian because they just don't have the commitment. And for me, being committed is a lifelong thing. I was committed to institutions very... as soon as I was able to walk, I was put in a home.
Yeah, well, thank God.
Yeah.
You commit hard out here.
I do.
You know what's great, and I'll tell this for the viewers / listeners, is I have never, 104th episode today.
104.
You have never once said, "Hey, can I take this again? Can we do it again?" Because you're already in there. You're already in the zone so heavily.
Yeah.
And improvised sketches, everything,
Right. I that's my message today.
Yeah.
Is please, whatever you do, do it 150%. And if you do it 150%, do it another 150%. Do it between 300 and 310%. Don't do it more than 310% because then you're a burden on people.
Yes, absolutely. And even if there's vultures circling your head, commit 312% if you can.
We have crows all around us today, and dogs, and there's a homeless individual over there. There's people who look like they're part of the circus over here, what I like to call acrobats or the disenchanted or just dispossessed are people who join circuses, you know?
Yeah, there's a lady with a stick on a string,
Yes.
just spinning it around her head.
Yes.
And, you know, you like to be amongst the people, I've noticed. You know, you don't get up on your ivory tower like some of these people do. You know, some of these Hollywood folks, they get up on their ivory tower, they look down on
First
the
of
folks.
all, ivory is illegal. You're not supposed to trade in ivory because of the elephants that get killed, and the hippopotamuses, the rhinoceroses. Maybe not hippopotamuses, but if you have ivory, you're scum to me.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't look that great anyway. You could just get birch. You know, birch looks very similar to ivory, and it's
yeah.
lighter.
Yeah, and if you can't get birch, join the John Birch Society. They're a right-wing organization that has been conspiracy-oriented before conspiracies were a thing. You know?
Yeah, they were on the ground floor of conspiracies. Yeah, they were back when...
Invest in conspiracies, folks. Conspiracies went public today on the stock exchange.
Yeah.
So invest.
Yeah, get your dollars in now while you can.
Get your dollars in now when you can.
Well, Eddie, I think it's been a while since we've had a guided meditation.
Okay.
And we're out here in the park. And last week we did such a great show about, our past histories of employment and
Yes.
cocaine use and, drug use on the job. And I think it was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
But yeah.
What I particularly liked was your story about a guy who wanted to put in an alarm in a warehouse, and he smelled gasoline and saw people crushing coca leaves.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that, to me, is why people come to this country.
That's right.
They want to smell gas, and they want to see cocaine being made. Now, some of you might say, well, shouldn't they go to South America, Central America, Brazil, perhaps?
No.
You could do it here
do
in
it right
Van
here.
Nuys. Was that Van Nuys?
No, this was in Burbank. Yeah, this is
Okay.
Oh yeah, you don't need to go across the world to fulfill your drug production dreams. You can do it right here. Right here in your hometown of Burbank or wherever you're at. You know, get after it.
But anyway, that was a terrific story, and one that I think will stay with a lot of people. You know.
Yeah, so if you want some cocaine, just start knocking on doors around random warehouses in Burbank, and you'll probably come across a production facility somehow.
Or a porn shoot, or just an indie film shoot, which you'll know the difference between a porn shoot and an indie film shoot, because the people in the indie film shoot are really getting fucked. They're not acting.
Yes. Have you ever had any brushes with pornography industry in this town?
I've met a couple of porn stars, women, actually at the Improv Comedy Store, and that's the closest I've come, is knowing a couple of porn stars.
Yeah, I was complaining about my gout at the Comedy Store. This is true. I was to a group of friends, and I was riffing and making fun of myself and all this stuff. And this woman comes up to me and she goes, "I struggle with gout also." And I was like, "Oh wow!" And so we had this common ground. And then after about 7 or 8 minutes, she goes, "Yeah, I'm a porn star." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then,
I didn't know gout was a thing that porn stars struggled with.
Oh, everybody. Gout knows no bounds when it comes to jobs or employment, financial success or failure. It gets them all. They call it the king's disease, but it really affects everyone.
Oh, the king's disease, because kings back in the day were the only ones who had access to very rich foods.
Yes.
And they ate themselves into gout. That's kind of what you did. I mean,
Yeah.
You were eating very rich food. Is alcohol a thing you're not supposed to do?
Yes.
But you still drink, right?
Yeah, I still drink. Well,
Now that I want to say, overcome the gout fears by keep on doing some of these things.
Yes. Yeah. If I still
You cut out sugar, though.
I cut out sugar, and that's for the inflammation, so that I can have a few drinks and not be crippled the next day. But yeah, if I stay well hydrated, keep the inflammation substances down, then I can have a few booze drinks, and then I can face society with a brave face, with a few glasses of vodka in my system.
Yes, vodka is something that can, I guess, help you achieve what you want to achieve.
It does. I used to be a guy, I don't know if you were ever like this, but I used to, every time I would perform, for probably the first 4 years, I would have to have 2 drinks before I went on stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I would...
Some would call that a crutch.
Oh, it's definitely a crutch. I got a lot of crutches. I got a bunch of crutches. I have to be in the right state of mind. I have to have a couple of drinks. I need 3 compliments before I go on stage.
You don't need drinks to go on stage anymore, do you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, not anymore. Now I need to be high.
By the way, I have 60 days clean and sober from everything.
I'm proud of you, man. You're an inspiration.
Go on.
Insofar as much as I think about quitting smoking, when you tell me that, I go, man, that's what.
Are you smoking a bunch these days?
I mean,
just here and there.
I am accidentally 3 days sober.
Accidentally.
Yeah, and there was no intention. I just haven't smoked. I think I've just been too busy.
Oh yeah. That's a shame, but
I know. I need more.
That
more
means
leisure
I
time.
think that you're not an addict, because I could never accidentally get 3 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have to be very I'm not going to smoke.
Yeah, that's what I tell my therapist. I'm like, I'm not an addict. It's been 3 days.
Yeah.
It's like, go 4 days. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And I smoke immediately.
Now, all right, let's do a guided meditation,
Please.
because we could just talk all day about bullshit.
We're very good at it.
Yeah.
At talking about bullshit. All right. And now, guided meditation with Eddie Pepitone.
Okay, everybody. I think you see the pastoral scene that me and Kevin are in, the dogs and the tree behind us. Look at the tree behind me. And if you're listening, just listen to the tree behind me. It's very still. Now, that's what trees and flowers, plants, fauna, shrubbery have to teach us, is to be still and know that we are God. And by God, I mean pieces of shit who owe a lot of people money. Now, I hope you're in nice, loose-fitting clothing. My shirt is extremely loose. It gives me room to breathe. The only thing that stops me from breathing is the fear and worry that I have when I wake up. I even have fear and worry, though, in my dreams. But that's neither hither nor thither, who are a great vaudeville team. Let's take our first in-breath. And I want you to breathe in the clear air of liberation. Breathe in an air of purity, an air of God consciousness. And by God, I mean pieces of shit that owe a lot of money and are being hunted down by other pieces of shit who work for collection agencies because it's the only job they could get. The people who work for collection agencies, ironically, have the worst credit of anyone. And I think that's a lesson for all of us. So breathe in that kind of God consciousness, clear, beautiful air, as if the air is being filtered by a Brita water filter. Brita, the water filter that if you don't install it right, could kill you and your family, because water's become contaminated, as is everything in our society has become contaminated, especially social media. Now with your first out-breath, I want you to breathe out all the negativity that you feel, all the detritus, all the horrible things that were said to you in your childhood, or just even today. The things that were said to me, all the horrible things that were said to me just today could fill the Louvre in France. So breathe out all the heart. Like when I woke up, I was called an absolute scumbag, and this was because my window was open and a neighbor saw me sleeping and just said, "You're a scumbag." And I said, "Good morning, Ned." So breathe out all the nasty things that people have said to you, and breathe out your hopelessness that engulfs all of us. I mean, the reason why we're drawn to guided meditations is because we're all hopeless. If we weren't hopeless, we wouldn't be listening to guided meditations. We would be listening to, I don't know, perhaps Jay-Z or Viagra Boys. Talking Heads, or the Lulus, if there is a band like that. But instead, we're listening to guided meditations, which means we're hopeless. And I want you to breathe all that out. And now, with your final in-breath, I want you to imagine you're in a bowl of soup, but the soup is delicious. The soup is a delicious soup, and you are swimming around in this deliciousness. Let's call the soup life, shall we? Yes, let's call it life. And you're swimming around in life, and it's delicious. And no longer do you look down at your knee and see that it's swollen. No longer do you look in between your toes and see the heroin needle marks. No longer do you look at your groin and see a very nasty redness that you haven't been able to get rid of since your friend took you to Bora Bora.
Thanks for joining us on another guided meditation with Eddie Pepitone.
Oh, that felt good.
Man, I want to get that Viagra Boys album. I want to listen to that Viagra Boys album.
They are a band, by the way.
The Viagra Boys?
They're really good. Yeah.
Well, they're always up, even if they don't feel like it. The Viagra
You
Boys.
son of a gun.
Let's face it, your underwear drawer is full of tattered boxers you've had for a decade.
You got that right, Kev.
It's time for an upgrade with Sheath underwear. Sheath is the best. It's ridiculously comfortable, and here's why. It has 2 pouches, one for your dick and one for your balls.
Yep.
It keeps stuff separated down there so things don't become a sweaty mess that's all stuck together and clinging to your thigh.
Slinging and clinging.
That's right. Hey, have you ever used Sheath underwear?
Yes, I have, as a matter of fact. And it really is something when you could put your dick in this little pouch, and then your balls are in another section of the underwear. And I'll tell you, I just love Sheath underwear, and just forgetting about my dick and balls and just tending to the other parts of my life. Whereas when I'm wearing regular underwear, I'm like, that's my dick, that's my balls. But now with Sheath underwear, I don't think about my dick and balls anymore.
Yeah, they're nice and separated. Yeah, with the length of my testicles, having an extra pouch is just it's something to live for.
Oh, my testicles are so long. They've been compared to the Magna Carta.
I've heard that. Well, give it a shot and get the best underwear you'll ever put on. Go to sheathunderwear.com and use code PEP to get 20% off your first order. Plus, Sheath Underwear's 100% money-back guarantee. That's sheathunderwear.com, promo code PEP. Get Sheath Underwear. Support the show and support your balls.
It really does make a difference. You son of a gun. And folks, by the way, what Kevin just did there, you can't teach that.
No.
You have to have that within you. Right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh,
a lot of strong word puns in my family. a lot of puns going on.
Boy, you're the one who looked up that we have. By the way, a storm is moving in. I'm freezing right now. Not freezing, but I'm chilly.
I'm a little chilly.
You have a perfect jacket on.
I got my new Christmas collection members only jacket on.
Oh, members only.
Oh yeah, this is the jacket.
Do they still make? Is that new?
Oh, this is new, baby.
Oh man, I thought they went out of business. I thought they burned down all their stores for insurance. I thought that. By Frank members.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Frank.
The members family.
Yep. And
it was like Frank was like addressing his children, going, "Look, we're members, goddammit." And as I have said to you a long time ago, I would never be a member in a club that would have me. So let's burn this shit down. And
that's right.
We got gasoline, and they just torched all the members only.
That's right. And despite the shouts from his partner Joanne only, he burned it down. But they actually did close down, and then somebody bought the license for the name, and they made some more shirts.
Oh, okay.
The whole members only saga for me.
Yeah.
Started, I was like 2 years into comedy, and me and 3 buddies wanted to try to get sponsorship for a little tour. And so I wrote a bunch of emails to different companies, and one of them was members only. And they said, we don't want to sponsor your tour, but we would love to give you some free jackets.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So
Did you get free jackets?
I got 5 free jackets for me and my buddies. And
They just gave you free jackets because you wrote a letter?
Yep.
Wow.
It was the hardest I've ever worked in my entire comedy career was writing those emails, and it paid off. And now I get berated and made fun of by a younger generation
because of the members only apparel.
Oh yeah, they go, "What are you, a manager at a bowling alley?" I go, "Hey, I like
cruelty. Cruelty is the key to self-esteem."
Did you get bullied as a child? Yeah.
I did. I did get bullied, but I always got out of it without too much damage being done. But, guys get bullied physically threatened.
Yes.
So, yeah, I got bullied by a couple of guys. But I always also would, be friends with tough guys, because I was funny. And the tough guys would then step in and be like, don't touch Pepitone.
Yeah.
All right, he's a national treasure.
Even then they knew. They knew.
Yeah. Oh, I was a national treasure immediately.
That's right. Yeah.
When I came out of my mom's vagina, I was immediately pegged.
As a national
No, let's just leave it at that.
Yes, I like that. No, dude, sense of humor, that's where mine developed. It was put into overdrive, was trying to not get my ass beat by guys who didn't like me because I was such a weird dude. And my ears, I've had this size ears since I was born, I believe. And so I would get made fun of for my ears all the time. And I would just go with it or whatever. I'd be like, hey, somebody grab me, the wind's blowing, I'm going to fly away.
Here's the thing. Now that I'm older, I find bullying to be so fucking disgusting. For real. I find it to be so fucking disgusting that people bully other people. And what I've gleaned about bullying today in today's world is that it's really fucking nasty.
Yes.
And it's gotten worse, and it's done partly too over social media. Like,
yes.
I mean, it's really, really fucking horrible that people. It's so lame, and to me, it shows how sick this society is, and how there's no structure or community to keep people from doing this kind of thing. Like, I think the people who bully other people are psychos.
Yeah.
And psychos just don't come into the world. They're psychos because they're not getting fucking love. They're not getting decent jobs. They're not getting community. They're fucking angry, and so they take it out on weaker people. You know, it's really fucked up.
Yeah, it's sad. My kids showed me there's Instagram accounts that are dedicated to the schools they go to, and whoever's running it is just like smear campaigning for some other kids that are there. They'll like put a picture of some girl in the junior high or the high school, and then they'll have a comparison and like calling her names and stuff. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal.
Why are they allowed to do it?
It's completely anonymous. It just says, it's like, it says the name of the high school, like, I can't remember what it is, but it's like it has the name, and then it's like the feed or something. So and I think it's that semi-anonymous nature of social media that gives people this clearance to be the worst pieces of shit in human existence. Like, it's so sad. And kids are the worst. Like, they are brutal. That's why I don't let my kids have any social media accounts. Cause,
is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How old are they now?
13 and 15.
And they don't have any social media accounts that
Nope.
you know of?
Yeah, that I know of. Yeah, they're able to go on YouTube, and I believe they both have like some sort of account with no personal information on there, because my daughter does animations, and so she'll post some of those online and stuff, which is pretty cool.
I don't know. That's like such a nasty part of the part of growing up, and and people still get bullied. You know, I got bullied late into my 50s for being bald.
Really?
Yeah, it would be like, you bald fuck. No, I'm kidding, but
and that was just like
at some point you have to tell the people you live with, stop calling me bald.
That's right. Yeah, my wife is brutal. She'll give me she'll give me atomic wedgies, and she's always like, I'll be eating something, she goes, "What's that? Can I have some?" And then she'll just take it and throw it in the trash.
Oh.
And I'm like, hey,
yeah, right.
Hey.
Yeah.
But
I get bullied with my medications, where my wife will just, take my medications and switch it out with the medications of, a friend.
Yeah, not
and
right.
All of a sudden, I'm like a little off.
Yeah. No, anytime I share something that's really personal with my therapist, he'll always go like, "Yikes."
Yeah.
And then he'll like, "We need to get you on some antipsychotics."
Right.
And then I'll be like, "Really?" And he goes, "No, I'm just fucking with you." He's not a great therapist.
That is the worst thing. Previously in my life, not now, but previously, I've had therapists who'd be like, "Boy, you look fat," and I'm like, "Can you use another word like jocular?"
Yes.
Or jolly. I don't mind being called jolly.
Yeah, even Rubenesque is nicer.
Rubenesque is perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah. You're looking very Victorian.
Yeah.
Husky is even.
I don't like husky.
No, it's not. It's not the best, but it's better than fat.
Fat is, it just connotes that you have been, negligent.
Yeah. Well, now that you've been working out so much,
I have been working out.
I mean, are you worried about your career as a character actor? I mean,
no.
No?
Absolutely not.
You're going to start...
That is funny. You remember Lost?
Yes.
And you remember the big guy on Lost? I don't know his name because I never watched the show. But I remember that they didn't want him to lose weight. I read this.
Yes. Yep.
And that's very fucked up. It's like the opposite of what the studios used to do, and probably still do, to women. Judy Garland being the most famous example, where they would say, take these amphetamines.
Yes, that poor girl. I feel bad for Judy Garland, because they pumped her so full of different medications.
Yeah.
One to get her up, one to get her down, and she was just this little kid. It's messed up. But fuck her. She had a good career.
No, every day of my life, I wake up, I have a big picture of Judy Garland. Like, it covers my whole living room wall. It's just a picture of Judy Garland being force-fed amphetamines by Louis Mayer of the Mayer, studios, MGM. And, hi, Clover! Ooh, Clover's here.
Good puppers.
Hi, guys. And Remington. Hi, Remington.
I love that you know all the names of the dog. That's great.
I do.
This
is a dog-friendly podcast.
Absolutely. They say that this podcast is for the dogs sometimes,
That's such a terrific...
Thanks, guys.
Terrific way to go. Yes, I know most of the dogs in this park, and they love me.
Yeah.
And that's why they come to me,
I love it. I love it that you say hi to the dogs by name, and the owners you didn't really acknowledge.
No idea. I'm not kidding. I don't know their names. And dog owners will know that's true, that you'll know the dog, but you don't know what their name. I call them it.
Yes.
Hello,
yes.
it.
Yeah. Is that your owner?
Yes, or the owner. I'll call them.
We're getting heckled by a crow.
Yes, Heckle and Jekyll were two cartoon birds. Do you remember them?
Yes.
Heckle and Jekyll.
Yes,
they were crows, I believe. And that's and I just think that's how they got that.
Yes,
because it sounds like heckling.
Yeah, it sounds like they're talking trash.
They are talking trash. Yeah.
We had a request for
what do we got?
A lounge singer bit.
On the pod?
On the podcast, yes. Somebody.
Which one?
We've never done a lounge singer bit before, but I figured we should create.
Well, let's do one then.
Something.
Why don't you do the intro to like a nightclub?
Yeah.
And say, please welcome. Whatever name you want to come up with.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, guy. Hi, baby.
Thanks for joining.
What is it? That's a crow. I think the crows know me because I feed them from my apartment.
Yeah.
And I think this one knows me. Oh, he left.
Oh, yeah, he's done.
I feed crows peanuts, shelled walnuts.
Ooh.
Some cat temptations. Little temptations.
Whew.
Shelled walnuts, some peanuts in a shell because they can get easily into the peanut, and a stuffed cabbage.
You got to get a stuffed cabbage.
They're delicious.
I mean, what goes without saying?
Yeah.
All right.
Takes a while to cook, but the crows are worth it.
Welcome to Lyle's here, a beautiful nightclub, and I'm so excited to bring up this next act. This young cat's been swinging from port to port, going all around the country, just sedating audiences and just seducing women, and with his beautiful song voice. And I just want to introduce one of my great friends and soon to be yours, the great act, Mr. Eddie Pepitone.
No! Why is there so much pain? There's so much pain in our world. No! Hey, everybody, remember to tip your bartenders. There's so much pain in my left shoulder. It's fucking killing me. Sir, is that your wife or a communist plot to overthrow the government? Hey. Thanks, everybody, for coming down to the listless lounge. Oh, my God, I got something. I must have hit something in my leg, on my leg. My shin is killing me, and this reminds me of a song. Here we go. My shin, it's fucking killing me.
It's killing him.
My shin, it's fucking killing me.
It hurts so bad.
Hey, folks, remember, if you double parked, I would grab that car right away because we got a lot of parking fucking bureaucrats in this town that fuck everybody.
The fines are high.
Which reminds me of another tune, and this one is about bread that's baked daily by a company called Luke. All right, here we go. Hey, Luke, your bread is terrific.
Yum, yum,
except one of my kids choked on a baguette.
Oopsie.
Look, folks, if you like this type of music, you can download it. All you need is a chip. That's all you need.
Guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight, man. Give it up for Mr. Eddie Pepitone.
Hey, thank you, everybody. Now let's try to do a more traditional. That was a lounge singer. I like to call that lounge singer a bit unhinged.
Oh, a bit. Yeah, just a little. Just a little unhinged.
Right.
And I'll throw a little jazz in there.
Let's do a
in the
different, mellower one now.
All right, another mellow one. Let's see here. We got Allen Margaret. We haven't checked in with Allen Margaret.
That.
All right. And now, checking in with Allen Margaret, the couple living inside Eddie Pepitone's head.
No! Al, will you turn down that music? It's horrible. It just sounds like a man screaming. Margaret, I happen to like this lounge singer. Yeah, but he's just pleading for his life. It doesn't sound like a lounge singer. Margaret, we all have different tastes in music, and I happen to like his music. Let me play it for you a little more. God damn it, there's something in my arm. Al, please, will you just turn it off? I have something very important to talk about with you. What is it, Margaret? Okay, are you ready? Maybe you should sit. All right, I'm sitting. Okay. We don't exist, Al. What? Is that why you sat me down? Yes, we don't exist. Margaret, how many times have I told you we don't exist? And you fight me on that. You say, why are you saying that, Al? Come and kiss me or whatever. Yeah, but I finally realized it with the help of my therapist that we don't exist. Whoa, back up the truck. If we don't exist, then you don't have a therapist. Touché. Touché indeed, Margaret. Now, come on. Are you bringing this up because you're trying to hide your drug habit? Yes. Look, Margaret, you can kick heroin. Just eat a lot of soup, chicken soup, and wedding soup. You know what a wedding soup is? Yeah, it's little pasta with meatballs. It's Italian. Yeah, something like that. All right? And your heroin habit will be absolutely gone by evening. Okay, well, will you pick up the wedding soup when you go out? When you go out for groceries? I'll pick up the wedding soup when we exist. Al, don't be lazy. A lot of times you use the fact that we don't exist as an excuse to not do your chores and to not do the shopping. Margaret, it's just so hard to do shopping when we're not even real. Tell that to my hungry stomach that doesn't exist. Hey, Al, what do you think of this painting I just did? Oh, it's beautiful. What is it? It looks confusing. Well, it's a picture of a man who lives in a tent. And inside the tent, he's doing heroin, but he's also making a fuss over nothing. Like you, Al. This picture is you. Look, Margaret, I think we're both love-starved. You know I'm love-starved. I don't know if you're love-starved. I am love-starved. Come here. Let me kiss you. Oh, well, I wish I could kiss you, but my neck. What's the matter with your neck? It's just hanging by a thread. Who are you, Geppetto? What does that even mean? Look, I don't know.
Aren't they great? Thanks for checking in with Al and Margaret, the couple living inside Eddie Pepitone's head.
Wow, I felt like that was really a descent into madness.
I mean, isn't it all? You know, isn't everything we do a little bit of a descent?
Well, I think I fucked it up. You know what? That one didn't feel great to me, and I think what happened was that I started off saying, Margaret said to Al, we don't exist.
Yeah.
And that is something that should come later in the sketch. So when you start up there,
You kind of, you buried the lead.
well, it's like then you have to kind of deconstruct the whole fucking thing. You know what I mean? And you're like, do I really want to do that?
Have you always done characters since you were a little kid?
Yeah. I started. I think I started doing it when I was like 9.
Yeah.
Like just I would bully children.
You're like, it's not me, it's a character.
It's a character. No. I've always kind of, I think because, like I found myself very boring. And also characters are a way to like get out of yourself and not have to deal with yourself.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Absolutely. I mean, when you said I find myself boring, I can relate to that on not me finding you boring, but myself. I'm like, oh, I get it. Yeah, very. No, I totally get that. When I'm doing a character, it gives me so much more freedom to say literally anything I want. Because growing up religious, especially, I have so many.
Jesus Christ was quite a character.
Oh, I'll tell you what. He used to turn the tables over in the synagogue. He was a wild guy. But I have so many guards up in my subconscious that stop me from that fluid, space of improvisation that you need to get into. And when I'm doing a character, it's like, oh, it's fine. I can say whatever I want.
Right. And that's an interesting thing to play with doing stand-up.
Yes. Yeah.
Because, it can really free you.
Yes.
Your creativity, like you just said, it could really free you to just do what you want.
Yeah. The first time I did a show that was it was an all-black show, I'll never forget this because it kind of informs my mentality that I try to get back into with every show, which is I was incredibly nervous before, and I was there with 2 of my good friends. And when I went on stage, I don't know what I did mentally, the gymnastics that I performed, but I turned something on, and it was such a good set. And I had my recorder in the back of the room, and I remember listening back to it and hearing the other comics talk about me. And one guy going, it seems like he's completely a different person right now. Like that I'd put on some facade of confidence. Because the whole time before I was like, I hope they like me. I'm so white, or whatever. Like just uncomfortable. And when I got on stage.
You got on stage, you're like, I'm Mr. Bojangles.
Exactly. Dude, exactly. Yeah, I was like Sammy Davis Jr. releasing in a country music album.
Yeah. By the way, you said you were listening to Sammy Davis Jr.
Yes.
On your way over here?
I was.
And could you tell me what that sounded like? Like just do an impersonation of Sammy Davis doing a country music. Can you do that?
I don't know if I can. I'll give it a shot. I can't even remember in any of the songs specifically, but it was like he literally does it as if he's just a country singer. So you don't even necessarily recognize it's Sammy Davis Jr. Yeah, he's just.
Oh, he does it as Sammy Davis.
Oh yeah.
I thought he took on like a Southern accent a little.
I mean, he does a little bit, but my brain is a blank. My brain is a blank on any of the songs.
Really?
Yeah, that he was doing.
You probably were just really enjoying it.
I was definitely enjoying it. Yeah,
You know, that's the thing about cameras now and cell phones and everything, is that we feel this need to record everything.
Yeah.
Instead of like just enjoy the moment. Like the last time I was at the Hollywood Bowl, I just had to get a lot of pictures of the band or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like, do I really need to do that? Can't I just enjoy the fucking why do I have to like but part of it is that I think, you know, we get validation now from showing people where we've been.
Yes.
Like, look, I was at this whatever, you know, I was at this Bernie Sanders rally or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why that popped into my head, but, you know, or I was at, this, you know, cocaine,
Coke Fest.
A Coke Fest.
Coke Fest 2021. Yeah, I remember that.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I always see the pictures of like from the back of the stage where someone's performing, and from the back, and you see a guy's taking a picture, and literally every person in the audience also has their phone up taking a picture,
Right.
which I'm like, it seems a little redundant.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking we're winding down towards the end of the podcast,
Yeah.
and I thought something that we could add
Yeah.
would be, you remember Jerry Springer used to have final thoughts?
Jerry Springer did?
Yeah, he used to have the final thoughts.
I never watched that shit show.
Oh yeah, there'd be a midget and a dog fighting over a cream corn or something, and then he would come back and it'd be like a final thoughts.
Okay, so you want to do a final thought
I think we should, a nice final thoughts
on the podcast?
I think it can be anything. You know, let loose. You know.
Okay.
And now final thoughts with Eddie Pepitone.
Hey everybody, I think this is a great segment that Kevin just introduced, and I think my first final thought of the podcast will be, being outside has been a revelation for me and Kevin. We're out here. We have no control over who comes here. Like, somebody yelled at me in the middle of performing, and I got very angry, and then I went over to apologize to him, and it turns out that we kind of knew each other. And what I'm saying is that being outdoors, being here in an uncontrolled environment, is a metaphor for life. We can't control things in life. We can't. Yet we spend the greater parts of our lives trying to control things. And as soon as we stop trying to control things, things get under control. And that's really the thought I want to leave people with, is that we have to stop trying to bend things to our will and just let them be. Let them be. Let them be. Let them be. Don't try to control. Don't try to control things.
I love it.
What do you think of that?
I love it. It's great. I mean, it's very, truthfully, it's very relevant for me because so much of my, at least, post-pandemic has been very much been me being upset about things that I can't control, as opposed to just acting out of my natural instincts. I'm a stand-up comic. I should write stand-up comedy and perform as much as I can. Right. And yet sometimes they'll be like, well, the powers that be won't give a fuck anyway, and it hinders me from doing what I need to do. You know what I mean?
What are you trying to control there?
Well,
Because that's what we were talking about. Like, that's an interesting way you came about that. Like, what are you trying to control there?
spots, trying to control what's going to happen in my life with,
Like you were saying, because the powers that be are not going to give a shit.
Yeah.
So do you see how you're trying to control that?
Yeah, a little bit, because I'm trying to get in when things don't go the way that I want. I'll get upset, and it will deter me and slow me down from just acting out of my natural inclination, which is to be a goofball that makes stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll be like, well, it's not going to end up the way I want, so why bother? You know what I mean?
I'll tell you
on
one
my
thing.
bad days.
I'll tell you one thing, and that's a life lesson, is that we let the joy go out of our life when we're trying to fucking get ahead, or we're trying to be the best in something, or we're trying to get recognition. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
we are trying, like you just said, I'm a goofball. You're not thinking about the business side. Of course, there's a business thing to be tended to because we need money.
Yeah.
But it is really important to really focus in on the joy instead of, the recognition, this and that. And with the technology we have today, the best thing about it is we can produce all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's no hindrance.
we don't have to rely on all these, the big shots.
Yeah.
Because the big shots come to you once they see that, you are joyful in what you're doing. They're like, holy shit, I want to be with that. People get drawn to that.
Yes. I have, that's an intention that I put in my mind when I'm having a bad day, is that nobody wants to be around somebody that's complaining and upset all the time. You know what I mean? Like, if you have an element of joy, and you do a great job of complaining and being upset in a very funny way, to where you're kind of poking fun at the situation or how you're feeling about it. So you let the audience in on it, as opposed to just being like, this is fucking bullshit,
Right.
Because I'll tell you what, Eddie, I can go off if I just let it loose. I get very upset, and nobody wants to see that.
No, I certainly don't. But also, that's the great thing about performing, doing stand-up, is that you have an outlet for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good to know that it's good to be conscious of the fact that this is what I'm doing. Like, I am getting out all my shit right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of being subconscious about it or unconscious about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, this we really got serious there at the end. You started that final thought thing. And I took it seriously.
I think you got a lot of good stuff to say, and I think it's good to give you a little outlet for it.
Yeah, I guess. But thank you for listening.
Mm-hmm.
Kev, you want to do the outro?
Yeah, if you're interested in seeing more of this podcast and you want to support us, check the links below, whatever you're watching or listening to. We've got links to our Patreon, to the YouTube, to eddiepepitone.com, where you can see his tour dates. And if you want to be a Patreon member, we're going to get you some apparel if you're a circus member. And if you're a Brad member or a circus member, you get this podcast the day that it comes out, plus some exclusive stand-up clips of Eddie himself. And that's about doing it.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for watching / listening / Uber Lyft / driving in the rain, for watching and listening to Apocalypse Soon, the podcast with no upside.